Alright. Evening, my name is Aaron Holder, and I'm here to talk about next season in the NFL and regarding the 49ers in the NFC West. My claim of fact is that the 49ers will in fact win the NFC West for the first time since 2002 next season. My supporting claims are that, one, they've performed exceptionally well within the division in recent years. Two, they have playmakers on both sides of the ball. And three, in the last 2 years, the NFC's competition for the 49ers has steadily fallen. Going back to my first claim, that the 49ers performed exceptionally well in recent years, starts in 2009 last season, where the 49ers went 8-8. They went 5-1 within the division, beating everyone twice except for the Seattle Seahawks in the division in overtime, losing 20-17 in Week 16 of last season. Now, the 49ers were the worst-ranked team in 2005, and ever since then have only been coming up. In 2006, they went 2-12. In 2007, they went 5-11. 2008, they went 7-9, and now they're 8-8. And last season's Cardinals were also the defeated Super Bowl attendees. They lost to the Steelers, and they also lost to the 49ers both times last season, which gives us promise that maybe they can even go farther than just winning the NFC division. My second claim is that they have playmakers all over the field, on the offensive and defensive side of the football. On offense, they had emergers such as Vernon Davis, who tied the NFL record for touchdown catches last season with 13. He also almost had 1,000 yards, approximately 550, and led the leagues in catches. Frank Gore, who had his fourth straight year of 1,000 rushing yards, is one of the best and premier running backs in the league. Also, the rookie Michael Crabtree, who was just brought in this last season, only played for only half the games after a long holdout, and still managed to have the second most receiving yards and second most catches within the team, which is really impressive for a rookie coming in for only half the games. On the defensive side of the ball, we have Patrick Willis, who's arguably the best linebacker in the league and has led the league in tackles all 3 years, with 172 his first season, 148 his second season, and 152 this last season. He was also the Defensive Player of the Year his rookie year in 2006. Now, this defense, led by Willis, was number 4 overall in the league and number 1 in our division. Now, a lot of this talent was picked up in recent drafts, and tomorrow's the draft is the NFL draft for the first and second round, and we have 2 picks in the first round. And if history keeps picking up where it has been, we'll have even more talent on both sides of the ball. And 49er chief analyst Eric Davis, speaking on the draft, says that if we pick up interior linemen, it should really help our ground game and our pass game, with Alex Smith, who was our first-round pick in 2005. This talk of talent brings us to my third claim, talking about our NFC opponents, the Cardinals, the Rams, and the Seahawks. Now, in this off-season, a lot of change and movement with personnel has happened. The Seahawks have gotten a new head coach in Pete Carroll, who hasn't coached in the NFL in a number of years. They also have Matt Hasselbeck, who is at the end of his career, and they also have no running back. The Rams have been on the bottom 2 positions in the NFL in terms of ranking for the past 3 years and haven't made it to the playoffs since 2003. And as for the Cardinals, who have won the division the last 2 years and had attended the Super Bowl, lost quarterback Kurt Warner, who had retired after last season. They had traded away Antrell Roll, their starting cornerback, Michael Dansby, their starting linebacker, and Anquan Bolden, their number 2 receiver. Now, all of these people were intricate parts of the team, and they were all Pro Bowlers, and without them in the way, this makes the 49ers schedule a lot easier. Now, in conclusion, the upcoming 49ers have a very bright season, are looking forward to a very bright season in 2010. And if they can utilize all these assets, such as their playmakers, their solid history in the past, And if they can take advantage of these rebuilding teams, it can go very far. Thank you.
Right, you got a very simple claim. It's stated up front. You lay out what the secondary points are very clearly, so the signposting is solid there. The supporting points seem to be relevant, although I do think you need to get a little bit more out of the importance of the playmakers, especially in contrast to making the playoffs and beating the other teams in the division. I thought, for instance, you could get a little bit more out of the 2 draft choices that they have on the first round, and you know, what their needs are, for instance, and the likelihood of their filling those particular needs. I think you could maybe pump that argument up a little bit. There's a lot of factual data and statistical information. I'm assuming that it all comes from a fairly objective source, so I don't really expect there to be much dispute, but you never tell us what that source is, whether it's NFL.com or 49ers fan site or something like that. You should still give us a source citation, even though it's not likely to be disputed, and since most of it probably comes from the same source, you'd only need to cite it the one time. I do think that you could probably benefit from the expert testimony of some other analysts, although I think you've done a very thorough job analyzing the argument yourself. But if you could back up your claim with some authorities who reach those conclusions, who have some credentials that reinforce the points that you're making, I think that would make it stronger. I thought that your inferences are pretty well explained, the presentation's pretty solid, and, you know, I hate the 49ers, so I hope you're wrong. All right.